Hello everyone, hope you're doing well. So in today's video I'll be going over my builds and provide short explanation on every single one of them to help you understand why I went for them. So let's get started. First of all, we have Ed. Most people don't have I have a fairly unique Ed build. The reasoning behind it is that I pretty much never drafted. I only ever drafted against Ran. That's basically the only time I ever really consider drafting him. And when I do, I want to make sure that Ran can press a 3. So if you ever played Ed into Ran, you know that maybe 90% of the time Ran is gonna press a 3 no matter what. It's just gonna ignore your head. This build makes sure they can't actually do that because their entire team is gonna blow up if they do. So yeah, that's the reasoning. And then if Ran doesn't S3, I always draft I never draft Ed as my only carry. So I always have a secondary carry to make sure I just win if it doesn't press, right? Aria, I mean, nothing special about this build. It's always been the same. I changed it a bit because I need RPCs for Yufine. But yeah, always the same thing. Aria is really bad in the current meta, so I pretty much never draft her. She wasn't geared until fairly recently. I just use her for arena, basically. I just do arena attacks. This is my team right now. I used Kayron, MLken, and LRK until recently, but I wanted to ungear Kayron, so here we are. Yeah, this can auto pretty much anything. As long as it doesn't have AOL. Right. Next. Elena, I rarely draft her. Okay, so the way I draft her is usually when my opponent plays aggro and start with Cilias plus LRK. You can tell the Cilias, if your opponent drafts Cilias plus LRK, the Cilias probably not gonna be really high effectiveness. They're probably gonna be 150, 170 at most. So this is gonna resist most of the time. And then you can just, she's gonna press, and then you can just S3 before LRK press S3. And you gain a lot of tempo, basically. So yeah, this is the reasoning for this build. And it's also safe against Architect like her, since if she presses 2, you're gonna cut and press S3 and cleanse. Ideally, I don't want her to be faster though, around 250 I think is really good. But I can't make it for now, so. Christy, you only really draft her in Guild War. So yeah. I mean, she's a nice unit to have, but until her specialty change, I don't think she isn't very usable in RTA, sadly. Senya. Yeah, there's nothing special about this build either, just regular stuff. She's pretty bad in RTA right now, so yeah. I haven't drafted her in a while. And yeah, nothing special to say. Celine, same thing. I like her. I tried to. I had to take her old boots to give them to LHC because I changed my LHC build. So she's a bit squishier now and she has more damage. I'm not quite sure if it's gonna be good yet. I'll try. She used to be 1.5k defense and 13k HP. So she used to be basically the same except 200 more defense and a bit less attack. I'll see if I like it or not. I feel like bulk is quite important on her, but yeah, we'll see. Destina. Okay, so right now you have a lot of really you have a lot of debuffers in the meta, a lot. A shit ton of them. So IR Destina is really good because of that. And she's really good against high effectiveness Cilias as well. So if you're second pick and your opponent goes Cilias first, then Arowell plus Destina is a very good answer, and for it to be a really good answer, you need your Destina to be able to resist Cilias 100% basically. I used to run Bastion because this is kinda low ER honestly, but the issue is Bastion, if your opponent doesn't run really high effectiveness stuff, then Bastion is just a lot worse. Because the Destina doesn't heal a lot because she's really low HP, right? She doesn't really heal all that much. So yeah, Guardianized Crystal is fairly mandatory, I feel like. But ideally I do want more ER, so once I get gold to actually change gear, I'll change to something like that, I think. This maybe. Yeah, I'll change to something like that. Yeah, this is what I want right now. But yeah. Anyway, I think this build is really good overall. You don't need to be that fast, like around 210. I think 210 plus is fine. 200 is a bit slow because you do want to take advantage of her S2 push to some extent. So if you're just like basically the same speed as your carry, it's not very that useful. But yeah, like 210 plus is fine overall. Luluca, I rarely draft her at this point, so this is my build for her. I tried really IR Luluca, I kept getting provoked by Celias, like I tried 300 ER, I got provoked, so I just gave up on it basically, and I geared Destina IR instead. So instead, this is my new build for her. She's fairly low ER, but doesn't really matter because I don't really draft her into anything with like high effectiveness. And I just like she's just a late pick basically in against some teams that don't really like have a cleanse, or like they only have an guy for instance, so it makes it really annoying for them because I want to press S3, but if they do, I'm just gonna press S3 myself and like remove their buffs, right? So she can be a fairly annoying solo weaver to face. I quite like this speed because it's guaranteed she goes after their cleanser, and yeah, effectiveness is really good on her because yeah, she can tag LRK, she can tag a lot of things. Just make sure like you almost never want to early draft Luluca because then you're just gonna die to Tywin basically, or like Solitaria, or like a lot of things. Like she's just not that good of a unit. She's good, but she's good as a late pick in my opinion. Like if you draft like if you start your draft and you go like Arowell plus Luluca, right? Your opponent is just gonna go Tywin, and then you're forced to pick a second cleanser because you have like your first cleanser doesn't actually cleanse, and they're just gonna proc Tywin. So you're forced into picking a second cleanser, and then your team just sucks because you have two cleansers. So yeah, like yeah. She's kinda awkward to draft, but I think she can be a good late pick. LHC, this is my new build. I quite like it. So the reasoning right now, when you play LHC, you're gonna be facing units like MLKen, LT, DC, Adin, MLV, Bellona, I guess, sometimes, LRK. All of those units, staying alive doesn't really help you, basically. So this is the reasoning behind that much damage and symbol. Staying alive doesn't really help you all that much. You just delay your death, basically. Like, if I press S3 on MLKen and he leaves, and my Cermia is like my main carry, how am I ever gonna kill him? Like, okay, so I'm gonna heal a bit from S3, right? If I have Golden Rose, I'm gonna heal back. Or like if I'm tankier, I'm gonna heal back. And then I'll cycle to another S3, and then I'll press S3 again, and then he will just leave again, right? Like there's no, like just how it is. Because it will just lifesteal back every time. So like the solution is to just kill him, basically. Like there's no, you kill or you don't, that's the current meta. And it's the same for like all of those units I listed. Like DC, you need to kill him before he kills you. LT, you need to kill her before she kills you. So full damage makes a lot of sense right now in my opinion, and Symbol helps for that because Golden Rose, while it's a good artifact, right? Golden Rose is a really good artifact, but it doesn't, like I'd actually rather have damage even if I'm low HP. That's the main thing, and the extra chance always helps against like Adin and MLV, who you're gonna see a decent amount when you draft Cermia. Tywin, I don't draft him a lot right now, but he's still really good. You don't, yeah, this is like just a standard build. For him, you just want, like, you want around 100 effectiveness. You want bulk, obviously, and then you just want him to be faster than your carries. Like, that's all you want. You don't want it to be too much of a gap between his S3 and your carries, right? Because let's say I'm 230 speed. My fastest carry is probably gonna be, I think my fastest carry right now is Yufine. She's 177. So actually no, it's Adin, never mind. She's 180. Okay, but like you see the point, right? She's 184. That leaves. So if he was 230, that leaves 46 speed for my opponent to like have a cleanse, basically to like cleanse my debuffs. So that's you'd rather avoid that basically. So yeah, you just want him to be just a bit faster than your carries, and that's it. Alright, next. Belian, I have two. This is the first one. That build isn't that useful overall. It's just nice to have because sometimes you're gonna see people just draft like early, like they're gonna go early Spectre without pre-banning Belian, and basically what they're gonna want to do is bait Belian. Like they're gonna bait you into picking Belian, and then they're gonna expect her to be counter. So they're gonna go LHC, they're gonna go DC, they're gonna go Roana, they're gonna go stuff like that. And if your Belian simply isn't on counter, you're just gonna win the game for free. So yeah, this is the reasoning behind this build. Like you don't have to play Olisac, you can do like the Mage Artifact, you can do anything. Just don't go Elbrice basically. Then counter Belian, this is just for cleave. Like if someone is like straight up cleaving, you can always late pick her, right? Like this is a good late pick. I quite like. I feel like ER wasn't that good back when I first built her like that, but right now I think it's really good because it prevents like her, right? Like some people they're just gonna go like into Belian and then just S2 Belian, but like they can do it on mine, so it's quite nice. Armin, nothing special. You want 150 to like ideally 150 to 160 speed, I think, on her. Like you want to go last, but you don't want to be too slow either, otherwise you're just gonna get lapped. And like, ideally I'd want a bit more ER, but this is fine. And like protection, yeah, protection is definitely beast on her. Just be mindful that sometimes, like a lot of people are gonna expect protection from Armin and Eaton, which means if you pick them early, you might face stuff like Arunca, like and like Opsig. Like you might just give your opponent a free Opsig or Arunca, so be careful with drafting those units. Eaton, yeah, like, I mean, nothing much to say about this unit, just on like shit gear, but it doesn't really matter. I don't think it's really good right now. Like the main time you're gonna draft Eaton is when you want 2 mitigation knights. But even when I do want 2 mitigations, I feel like I'd rather just pick Armin right now. But yeah, Eaton sometimes can be okay. He's a late pick and yeah, like not that good right now. LRK, I almost never draft him. I don't think he's good as a mitigation knight right now, but at least if you play slow. So this is why it's why mine is on Rise of a Monarch, because I'll draft him alongside Arowell. So yeah, Rise makes a lot more, like I don't really already have Adamant and Escort, so Rise makes sense. And then I just want him to be faster than my opponent's Tywin, right? So 240 is usually fine for that. But if I could, I would push for 250, honestly. But realistically, I don't really draft him. He's not, launching is that good right now if you play slow. Candy, I never ever draft her. This is just a Guild War build, so yeah. Like I think she has too many counters to be picked with a full slow team, basically. Like she dies to Khawazu, she dies to Liti, she dies to MLK, she dies to Bellona. She dies to way too many things, basically. I don't think you can really draft her. I don't think you can really draft her if you play slow. Arowell, I'm really high HP because, well, simply put, most of the damage you're gonna take from her is gonna be unmitigated by defense. Because most of the... Okay, so what's gonna eat Arowell, right? Like, who's gonna eat Arowell? MLV with a 3. LHC with a 3, which ignores 50% defense, same as MLV. LRK with a 3, which ignores 100% defense. And like they're mostly gonna be AoE, and all AoE is gonna, like most of the damage she's gonna take from AoE is gonna come from Escort, right? And Escort ignores defense, so... Oh, and Gala, right? I forgot Gala. And yeah, Gala also ignores defense, so like most of it at least, so... Yeah. This is why mine is so high HP. Like I don't value defense nearly as much as I would right now. Because, yeah, like the meta is just very... You have a lot of ignore defense in the meta, so... I feel like this build is the best, because she leaves Gala most of the time, so, which, yeah. That's the main thing. Adin... I'm back on bulky build. I think I like this build the most. It's not... Sometimes it can be... You're gonna lack damage sometimes to kill like Yufine, American stuff, which can be annoying, but... I feel like it's just the most versatile overall. Because like when I pick Adin, it's usually as like an early pick. So yeah, like I do want her to like be able to survive and be sticky, and this build is really good on that, for that. Celine, I almost never draft her. This build, yeah, I want to try out this build more, but I don't really get to draft her. I have a lot of things to mod, but what can you do? I'm not quite sure if I'll keep that. Like, I think 230 speed is fine on her. Like, I do think it's fine. Like, you can go to like, I think you want 230 to 250. If you go lifesteal, I think it's quite good. I'm not quite sure if I'll keep the ER or not though. I don't think ER is that useful in the current meta, so yeah, we'll see. I might not. Angelica, I don't draft her much. I don't really like the buffers overall, so yeah. Etika is so okay. So if you play Angelica against Lua or against Monk, right? If you run Etika, you have 50% to just get to press S3 turn 1. Like, so that's kind of good, right? So yeah, that's the reasoning for Etika. And then I just want her to be faster than my Tywin, so he's 200 speed, so she's 210. And then the rest just bulk. Solitaria, almost never draft her, don't really like her. I think a good Solitaria should be 280 plus, 280 plus speed. Because then you can speed contest, like you can reliably speed contest Gala, you can reliably speed contest Trace, Architect Laika, all of those units. Whereas this is just this is way too passive basically. But I can make a good 280 Solitaria, so yeah, mine is like that and I barely draft her. So yeah, do not copy this build. Maid, she hasn't changed in a while. I do like this build, but Maid is just not very good in the current meta. Like, because the best carries right now, they don't really synergize with her, right? Like, they don't really want ER. Like, Adin doesn't really want ER, Kenny doesn't really care that much about ER. And yeah, she isn't that good if you play slow, and Maid is a very slow unit. And Yufine doesn't care about ER at all, and she doesn't really care about attack buff as well, so... yeah, Maid just isn't very useful right now. But if she comes back, I'll most likely keep this build. I like it a lot. Bunny Dom. Yeah, I don't draft her, so not much to say. Ideally you want Doctor's back on her, but I don't have it. And ideally you want a lot more speed, but yeah, I don't really draft her. Like, okay, if you early pick Bunny Dom right now, your opponent is just gonna go more extra turn. Like if your opponent goes Silias and you go Bunny Dom, they're just gonna go like DDR. Or like Lua, or like Monk, then they're gonna have 2 extra turns. So, like, what are you gonna do? You organize 2 once, then everything's gonna get stripped. So, yeah, I don't think she's that good right now. Like, she's really strong, like, she's really good if you play fast. If you can punish your opponent, like, if you can play fast, she's really good. But if you play slow, I don't think she's really good. Lilibet, that's a very recent build I made. I'm not quite sure I'll keep it yet. Yeah, we'll see. This is just more bulky than usual, and it's faster as well, so I'm not sure if I wanna keep it or not. We'll see, honestly, but yeah. Yeah, I'll see. Like, I might just go for more damage again. Perfect. Anyway. And Golden Rose just makes her really sticky. Like, the meta is very debuffer heavy right now, so being like more bulky and being on Golden Rose makes sense, I feel like. Khawazu. Yeah, don't copy my Khawazu. Ideally you want, like, I'd say between 170 and 200 speed on him. Like, you want between 170 and 200 speed, and you want over 5k attack. And ideally you want Tachi, but I don't have Tachi, so I'm using this. Which is like okay-ish, not great, but okay-ish. And yeah. So you want 5k attack, 170 to... over 5k attack, 170 to 200 speed, and then just bulk. But yeah, since I can't make over 5k attack with speed boots, I just went like for random shit. And I went attack boots because at least if he gets a turn, he's gonna kill. Because if he gets a turn and I don't kill, then I'd rather just not take a turn, right? That's basically my reasoning. But yeah, I don't draft him that much overall. Bellona, I pretty much never draft her at this point. I do think she's a good unit. But like, you need to pre-ban Adin. If you don't pre-ban Adin, she's really hard to pick. Which is sad, but yeah. She's just really hard to pick if you don't pre-ban Adin. Yeah. Like, for the rest, I quite like this build. You don't have, I mean, I went here, but like, you don't have to, obviously, and you can go destruction over counter, just up to preference. Like, for me, the main argument for counter was that my counter build is like 30 gear score higher than my destruction build, so like yeah. Obviously I'm not gonna go destruction at this point. And for artifact, you can go Golden Rose on her. I think it's really good. But yeah, I have a max Sigurd, so I'm using Sigurd. But I think both are really good, honestly, just up to preference. MLken, I'm back on lifesteal. I like this build a lot. He's fairly bulky. He has pretty good damage. I do think bulk matters a lot on him, and lifesteal is basically just more bulk, right? Like, assuming you don't get one tapped, obviously, but assuming you don't get one tapped, lifesteal is just more bulk, so I like it more than destruction right now. But like realistically, both are somewhat the same. Like, it doesn't really matter which one you go for. I would just say go for at least 15k HP and at least like 1.7k defense, I think. And if you can't make if you can't make 1.7k defense, go like 16k HP then. Like, you just increase your HP instead, right? It's fine. Like 16k HP, 1.6k defense works too. But I value defense over HP overall because like it obviously heals a lot, right? So like overall just a lot more effective HP. Alright, Kawerik. Yeah, mine is full damage. I don't like drafting Kawerik as a cleanser. So yeah, as a full support. So I draft him as like a sub DPS. I quite like this build overall. I think it's quite good. The reasoning being, like, if you play fast Kawerik, like if you play full support Kawerik, you're always gonna be fast because otherwise, like, what are you doing with your gear score? Like, right? You need to put your stats somewhere, and having like a 35k Kawerik doesn't really do all that much. So if you play him full support, you're always gonna go fast because that's where his value lies. But if you go fast with Kawerik and you face like AOL stuff like AOL Tywin, which is fairly common right now, you're gonna go before AOL most of the time, and then she's gonna press S3, and then Tywin's gonna press S3, and then you're gonna die. So with this build, I make sure I go after them basically, which is quite nice. So yeah, that's the reasoning. And then since you're slow, you might as well just go damage. Yeah. I think it's a pretty good build overall. Like, I have decent success with it. Right, Choux. My Choux is really bad, but I don't draft her that much. I think she's a lot better if you have a speed contester on your team. Like, if you first pick Celias, playing Choux is a lot easier. If you don't speed contest, then you're rarely gonna have the opportunity to play her, but yeah. Overall, you mostly just want like over 250 speed on her, and then like over 250 speed, over 233 damage, over 20k HP, and then over 1.3k defense, maybe something like that. And for artifact, I think this is like best in slot for every single browser. Like, that's HP scaling. Like, because this is just so much free gear score. It's like, there's no way you pass. Like, it's only 10% damage increase, but like you get so much HP. Like, it gives me 2.2k HP. Like, that's so much. So yeah, I really want that on like any HP scaling warrior. Yufine. Yeah, not much to say. She just yeah, she just really likes gear score basically. Like, she wants everything. Like, she wants eye attack, she wants eye defense, she wants eye HP, she wants eye speed, she wants crit chance, she wants crit damage. So yeah, I'm back on Elbrice. I do think Olisac is decent. Like, I think both Olisac and Elbrice are good. The main reason I went for Elbrice because it's more fun, basically. Like, if you play Olisac, it's really boring, right? You just wait the entire game. If you play Elbrice, I know, it's just more fun to play. And it makes it more scary for your opponent, right? Like, when you face Elbrice Yufine, you're like, fuck, I hope she doesn't counter. When you face Olisac Yufine, it's like, yeah. Just don't hit her and you're fine. Like, you're not gonna do anything for a while. So yeah. Pyllis. I think she fell off a bit. Like, she's still strong, don't get me wrong, but I think she did fall off a bit. She did fall off a bit. She's a good unit, but she has clear weaknesses, and yeah, like, people are starting to like exploit them. Like, she's weak to LRK, she's weak to like EVD buffers. She's weak to a decent amount of stuff actually, so. But yeah, this is my build. I think 2.7k defense is quite good. You can go lower on HP, though. You can go like 15k HP, it's not that bad. You want like 40 plus CR, it's fine. I don't think you want effectiveness, not very useful. Just like I need to mod it away. And you do want speed on her. Because you want to make sure you go before your opponent's Adin, basically. And the fact that you can also cleanse and push your team is also very valuable, so... Like, I think like 230 plus speed is ideal for her. Like 230 to 40, it's a very good spot for her. You can do, yeah, you can do 220, but yeah, I wouldn't go below that, basically. Like 220 to 240, I think it's best. Dominiel, yeah, she's just on random gear. Like sometimes I draft her against Commander Pavel, but yeah, like she's a very niche unit, I don't really draft her. And that's it for everything I have geared right now. And now just do real quick units I wish I had geared right now. So Abigail, I think she's quite good into Arunca, Op 6 sometimes, and Gala, and Strays as well. So I do wish I had Arunca geared right, Abigail geared right now, but I don't really, like her gear is on Ngai basically, so what can you do? But yeah, I do wish I had her geared. I think she's pretty decent right now. Then, not really care for any of those. Liti, I wish I had her geared. I think she's pretty strong right now, and she has very good synergy with DDR. So, ideally you want her slower than DDR. So, like for me, I'd build like a 240 DDR and a 230 Liti. I think it's really good. You go like 220 plus on her, like at least 220, like ideally like 230 plus, but yeah, 220 plus speed. Some, like I think 100 DR is really good on her, and then some effectiveness if you can as well. And then like at least 20, I think at least 25k HP. And then you play her on her own artifact. But yeah, I think she's quite strong right now, so I wish I had gear for her. Karina, yeah, she's still really good. I really wish I had a second rocket punch, but I don't, so what can you do? What else? Oh, Fairy Tail. Mark told me about it recently, actually. So he uses her as an answer to Monk, which I think is quite smart, actually. So you play, like when your opponent, if you early speed contest and your opponent goes Monk, you can just go Fairy Tail, right? Like it's actually quite a decent answer, because if you play your own book, even if you get reset, you can still like S3. Like there's only a 50% chance you're gonna get reset, and then you can still S3, right? You can just burn an S3 again, burn an S3 anyway. So yeah, I think it can be quite a good answer actually. Okay, and I think that's basically it. Oh, Gala, Gala, I think Gala is quite nice to have even if you play slow. When your opponent plays really greedy, like they go like LRK, Destina, stuff like that, you can just play Gala and just punish them basically. But yeah, she's kinda hard to gear, so I can't make her right now, but at some point I'd like to have her geared. I think she's really, even if you play, like you don't need to be that fast, she needs to be like 230 plus. Because like if you play slow, right, you're only really gonna play her against like other slow players. So if they don't contest at all, like their fastest unit is like Destina, 230 is more than enough, right? So yeah, I'd quite like to have her gear, but what can you do? And then I think that's it. Don't really. Oh yeah, DDR. Yeah, like DDR is kinda similar to Gala in my opinion. You play him to punish slow players. Like if someone just doesn't contest and just plays really slow, really greedy, you can just go DDR. You can just go like late pick DDR. It's a really annoying unit to deal with, so it's a fairly good pick. And then it synergizes really well with Liti. Like you go, yeah, like if you late pick DDR Liti, it's gonna be really awkward for your opponent to do anything, basically. So yeah, pretty good unit to have geared. I don't really like debuffers, I don't have Liti geared, so mine, I'm not drafting him, but yeah. Alright. So yeah, that's gonna be it for today. Thank you for watching the video. Hope you enjoyed it, and hope you have a great day. Peace.